Good morning, dear children. So, once again we are going to continue with P block elements. Today is our lecture 18. And in our previous lecture, we could complete the introductory parts, their periodic trend, physical properties and hydrides. And today, I am going to start with oxides. Okay. So far as oxides are concerned, the first element oxygen, along with oxygen, when rest of the elements are going to combine, then only the formation of oxides occur. So sulfur, it forms SO2 and SO3. So in general, these elements, they form EO2 and EO3. Okay, where E stands for the element, so they have dioxides as well as trioxides. So similarly, selenium, SeO2, SeO3, tellurium and so on. So sulfur dioxide or any dioxide, hybridization will be, I hope everybody knows how to predict the hybrid state of central atom. So it is sp2 and sp2 with one lone pair, as they have 6 valence electron. So this is also bent or V in shape. SO3 or any trioxide, it will be sp, same hybridization, but it does not have any lone pair of electron. So this will be planar in shape. Okay, and after oxides, next we are going to discuss about halides. So halides, they are tetrahalides like SF4 at room temperature is gas, selenium, it is liquid, and tellurium tetrafluoride, it is solid. Hexahalides are very stable, and so far as sulfur is concerned, SF6 is exceptionally stable because of its steric hindrance. And these tetrahalides, their hybridization will be sp3d with one lone pair. So sp3d with one lone pair, so the geometry will be seesaw. Okay, and SF6 or any hexahalides, their hybridization is sp3d2. There is no lone pair, so sp3d2 without lone pair, the shape will be octahedral, and this is also known as square bipyramidal. And this is a three-dimensional structure actually, and the dipole moment becomes 0 and the molecule seems to be non-polar in nature, and all bond angles, you know, it's a 3D structure, so or diagonally they are on a plane. So in this case, what happens, the bond angle is 90 degree all angle, and the dipole moment is 0 and the molecule will be non-polar. So hydrides, oxides and halides. So these are the important compounds of group 16 elements. And before moving ahead, I would like to discuss about their oxidation states. Okay. So oxidation state is also one of the important properties of any p block elements, or in general you must know that what is their oxidation state and under what circumstances it is going to vary. So far as oxygen is concerned, it always show -2, but -2 is in oxides. Okay, when I say about peroxides, then it will be -1. I hope everybody knows what is the peroxy linkage. So peroxy means 2 oxygen, they are covalently united by a single bond, so that each has -1 oxidation state, and therefore whenever we write peroxide, it's written like this, O2 2-. But when oxygen is attached with more electronegative element, and that can happen only with fluorine. So if it is OF2, then it is going to be +2, and if it is O2F2, +1. So these are the exceptions, my dear students. So oxygen is the second most electronegative element. So fluorine will be -1, so that oxygen becomes +1 here. Here also this is -1, so this will be +2. So far as rest of the elements are concerned, then they have +2 to +6. Okay, as for example, you can see in case of sulfur, SO2, here it is +4, SF6, now it is +6. So from +2 to +6, other elements, they have positive oxidation states as well. And one more important properties which we have studied in class 11, that in case of p block elements, down the group, lower oxidation states become more common, and this is because of inert pair effect. Okay, and inert pair effect, I hope everybody remembers, it is the reluctance of s electrons to take part in chemical combination because of stability, and greater penetration of s electrons is known as inert pair effect. And when we go down the group, what happens? Inert pair effect increases, or lower oxidation state becomes more common due to increase in atomic size, so that their bond enthalpy decreases. So after these chemical behavior and chemical properties, let's begin with oxygen. Okay, we have to study separately and in detail about oxygen, sulfur, sulfur dioxide, sulfuric acid and oxo acids. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with oxygen. And so far as lab preparation of oxygen is concerned, upon heating potassium chlorate, we get oxygen. Manganese dioxide can be used as a catalyst over here, and other preparations, as you all know, that oxygen can be obtained by heating the salts which are enriched with oxygen. So many oxides are there. Hydrogen peroxide, upon heating or even at room temperature, it decomposes. Then silver oxide, I am not balancing the reactions, silver plus oxygen. Then lead nitrate, PbNO3, you have seen in laboratory the test for nitrate ion. So upon heating, we get nitrogen dioxide, which is brown in color. Then potassium permanganate, upon heating, potassium manganate. Then potassium dichromate also. So all oxygen rich salts, upon heating, they give oxygen. And by passing electricity, decomposition of water also takes place, so that this is the electrolytic decomposition and one of the industrial methods of preparation. So apart from that, oxygen can also be obtained by fractional crystallization of air distillation. So depending upon the boiling point, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, and they can be obtained accordingly. Then the properties, the physical properties, as you all know, oxygen is a colorless gas, odorless gas, and its solubility is very less. It is sparingly soluble in water. Whatever is required by the marine and aquatic animals, that much only it is going to be soluble. But it is soluble in alkaline pyragallol, children. Okay, pyragalol is this benzene 1,2,3 triol, trihydroxy compound it is. Otherwise, it is very less soluble in water. And when it combines with metals, then it is going to form metallic oxides, with non-metals, acidic or non-metallic oxides, and so on. So I'll give you the example of oxides. First is metallic, and as you all know, metallic oxides, they are basic oxides because upon dissolution in water they form bases, and rather they form water soluble bases which are known as alkalis. So Na2O, K2O, calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, and so on. So anyone, if you take the example, upon dissolution in water they form bases, that is alkali actually. So these are metallic oxides. Then comes non-metallic oxides, and actually these oxides are acidic in nature, like carbon dioxide. When it is dissolved in water, we get carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide, it forms sulfurous acid. Phosphorus pentaoxide, it forms phosphoric acid. N2O5, it forms nitric acid. N2O3, it forms nitrous acid. So these are acidic oxides because upon dissolution in water they form acids. When I say neutral oxides, some of the examples: carbon monoxide, then N2O, laughing gas, nitric oxide, water. These are the examples of neutral oxides. Then comes the amphoteric oxides. Okay, amphoteric, as you all know, which can act as an acid as well as base. So here example: alumina, zinc, beryllium, lead, etc. Okay, then mixed oxide. Okay, mixed oxide, see some examples like Fe3O4, ferrosoferric oxide. And why it is called mixed oxide? Because it is made up of FeO.Fe2O3. In ferrous, the oxidation state is +2, whereas in ferric it is +3. So ferrosoferric oxide, average oxidation state, if you take 3x plus 4 into -2 is equal to 0, plus 8 by 3. Here it will become 1 into +2 plus 2 into +3 divided by 3, so it's going to be same. Similarly, Pb3O4, this is also mixed oxide because PbO dot PbO2, so 3 Pb is there, it is written like this. Mn3O4, this is also MnO dot MnO2. So these are the example of mixed oxide. But it can have suboxides also. C3O2, very important example, dear children, and it is carbon suboxide. Okay, so metallic, non-metallic, mixed oxide, amphoteric oxide, suboxide, and so on. So these are the different type of oxides. So there is a in-text question in NCERT that name 2 metals which do not react with oxygen. So you can have platinum over there, and gold also does not react directly. So platinum and gold can be the example because they are the noble metals, they are less reactive metals. So this is about oxygen, its method of preparation, physical properties, and the nature of oxides which is being formed over here. Up to here, all of you prepare thoroughly so that we can continue with ozone, oxo acids, preparation of sulfuric acid, and so on in our next lecture. Thank you very much.